Hi guys, good morning. Alright, so I'm active. Everything looks okay. Here we go. That's three, two, 6, 4. Three, 6. Five, 3, 6, 2. 4, 2, 6. Down pitch. One, 4, 2, 6. Nice. 2, 6, 8. That's 2 hits. Three, 2, 6, 4. Shit, 5, 2. Hey, John, good evening. Hi. Well, a good start. Three, 6, 2, 4. Nice. 6, 5. 3653. Nice. It's a 5-4. Six, 5, 3, 6. Nice. 4, 1. Two, 4, 6, 2. Five, 4, 9. That's 2 hits down. Six, 5, 3, 6. Four, 3. Wow. Minus 15. Come out. Hey, Mrs. Big Money, good morning. Five, 1, 6, 4. Hard 10. Flowers for my friend. Five, 4, 5, 6 becomes 4, 2, 5, 6. Nice out. 6, 1. I keep imploding either left or right eye. Sorry, guys.
ways it is. Hey, John. Good morning.
Nice up.
358. Of axis 5. Okay.
Here we go. 6-4, 6-4. Nice up.
Oh no, 4-3. I double pitched them. Wow. Wow. It's disgusting. Point 7 out.
I'll go towards the center.
Two, 3, 5.
Nice up.
And we're all in the red, as you said. That's 6. Shit. Alright, I guess it's the old 7 set. Here we go. Six, 4, 1, 3. Three, 1, 4. And the secondary. Three, 1, 4, 6. Nice up. 3, 6, 9.
26 for 1. Nice.
156. That's 2.
One five six two. Nice.
Primary hit 167. I can't do anything about shit like that. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Sorry guys, just give me 1 second, I'll be right back. Okay.
Two six three one. Nice.
Six, 4, 10. No problem, John. Sorry. I walk away from the table because I had a little emergency. I just came out of hospital yesterday, so I do apologize about that.
2631. I didn't think about opening it up. 631. Nice. 6-2.
Nice up. Four two. Three one. Six two. One four. Coming down. Nice. That's a 5-3-8. Nice. 4-2-6. 5 from 9. That's 10. Hard 8. Oh, that's a very kind offer. Unfortunately, I'm too far away, and until the end of, I guess, October, I cannot move from Cyprus. I'm organizing my daughter's wedding, so it's all hands on deck, unfortunately, until then. But thank you so much. That's a very kind offer. If you want any help, of course, I will help you from here. It's a 6 to 8. That's the 1 2 3. Six, 3, 1. Ah, 2, 5. What was the 5? It was explosion of the right die. 6 is facing. So we double pitched. Okay. All right. So what do we do now? We try again. Three, 5, 1, 5. Hard 8. That shouldn't happen, but it did. So we accept it and we move on. Was it because of bad shooting or because of bad betting? Because you have to sort of align both things. 6, 2, 6, 3, 2, 3. Nice. 3, 369. Explosion, okay. Let's go across. Three, 2, 6, 2. Three, 2, 5. Secondary. That's 3 hits. Coming down. But betting not changing sets when I was away from small and tall. Okay, so let's just, say something that I think a lot of people should listen to. And I always talk realistically. The aces and the 12 can only be set for if you get something which you can transpose to. Let me explain this to you. If you're on a 4-2, 4-2 set, and you're throwing, the 4-2, 4-2 set, and then you get a hard 8, for example, and you only need the 12 to complete, the tall, it only makes sense for you to transpose the 4s for the 6s. So I would make my set into a 6-4, 6-4 set, simply because the rotations or the way you're throwing may well take you to the 6s. There's no other way to do that, unless you want to play a safe game and say, okay, I've been staying on axis for 3 or 4 shots. The 4-2, 4-2 just yielded the hard 8, and then it's your chance to go to something like a 6-4, 6-5, 6-5, 6-3 V sets or cross 6s, which protect you from the double pitching. So you're adding a layer of protection against the 7, but at the same time sort of transposing your sets to meet that criteria without potentially harming yourself, And I think that's the best kind of advice I can give on the aces and the 12. If I hit aces or 12, sometimes I consider myself very lucky. If I want to set for it, then what would I try to do in the next one is to actually go and hit the other side. If I hit aces, I try for the 12. Simply because, my mechanics are there. All right, 3, 2, 5. So it's a 6, 3, 6, 2. Quarter 10, 3, 1, 2, 1. Five, 4, 9. That's implosion ball. Sorry guys. Hello. Right, so let's see. 5, 6, 6, 5, count out. 2, 1, 2, 3. When point we set was off axis a lot, but had some 45 minutes long rolls. Okay, well, cruise ships had very bouncy table. Okay, so there's quite a few things to consider here. The first thing, and the most obvious, is the bouncy table. If you can avoid it, do so. It's not worth practicing on a hard surface and then going on a bouncy table. The bouncy table adds, I would say, 3 layers of random. One layer of random is the bounce itself because it affects the landing. The other one is where the dice are going to hit, and then number 3, another layer of random once they recoil from the back wall. So the only solution I have ever found on bouncy tables, and I do avoid them by a lot, is a very high sort of angle of attack, maybe maximum 2 inches from the back wall. The point being, I want them to recoil underneath the gators and come down very hard so that they lose all their momentum on landing. Apart from that, I did try with neoprene on my table. It was the worst 6 months of my practicing career. That's the first thing. The second thing, I do agree with this 5, 6, 6, 5 because it does give you an idea of what your dice are doing. I do not agree with you being so sort of hard and fast about the 2, 1, 2, 3. Simply because you need to understand what the dice did before on the 5, 6, 6, 5. It's a very, very strong indicator of whether you had a 3 involved or a 4 involved in your result. So if a 5, 6, 6, 5 is set, it's a kissing 4 set. So if you have a 4 involved, the 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 is not the best set because it's implosion friendly. It's not explosion friendly. Whereas the 2, 3, 2, 1, it's explosion friendly. Now you said you had off-axis, a lot of off-axis results, but had some 45 minutes long rolls. Okay, I cannot argue with the result. I can obviously not argue with the result, but what I'm trying to sort of share with people here is for them to be able to consider, what are the dice doing? That's the question mark. If you don't follow what the dice are doing, then I have nothing to, to offer you, simply because you just have a system, a 5, 6, 6, 5 followed by a 2, 1, 2, 3, and that's it. Regardless of what your dice are doing, regardless of the table surface. So if you're going to follow or understand what I'm trying to say here, you need to actually become very flexible in your thinking. And I know it's black light. If I could only control whether my dice imploded or exploded. There is a way, I guess. There's 2 ways you can do that. You can shorten your backswing, or make it have a lot of velocity, which is 2 different things. And the other thing is, if you want to avoid exploding the dice, do something like this: split the grip. Believe it or not, these fingers are trying to push the dice back in, so you'll not get explosions, supposedly. It doesn't always work, but with me, I don't get the explosions that I would have gotten if I left the grip closed with the dice kissing each other, basically. All right, so back to what we were doing. I'm going to look up the bets. We go to 5 and 4. 6, 5, 6, 4. No. 1, 5, 1, 4. So it's a 5, 6, 4, 6 set. Box cards, that's a primary. That's where you say, okay, I got what I wanted. Let's take a chance for the aces. This is going to be a transposition. I was on a 5, 6, 4, 6. Let me just. You're very welcome, man. Appreciate that. So let me just we wait for the camera to go back, and so we are on a 4, 5, 6. It was a 1, 5. We just put it like that for you. 1, 4. That's the 1. That's the 5. So now on a 5, 6, 4, 6. We threw it. We got the 6s. Let's transpose. The only thing I need to do is to bring the 4 here. Sorry. From a 6, 4, 6, 5, I can bring my set here and have the aces and try that out. Can you take him to the kitchen? Sorry about that. So it's a 4, 1, 5, 1. This is what Vega's Day Tripper uses. This is his set, his go-to set. 4, 1, 5, 1. I'm going to use a backswing, a paused backswing. So 1, 2, 3. Heart 10, 5, 5. We imploded the dice. Sorry, exploded the dice. It was explosion left. All right, let's go across. I know, John. You know, beggars cannot be choosers. I understand that. Go to 5, 6, 5, 4 set. Quarter, turn it away. 6, 2, 4, 2. Two, 4, 6. Second. That's 4 hits. The set is a 6, 2, 6, 4. I've got a quarter turn away to 2, 1, 4, 1. Again, we may get a chance to hit the aces, but this is not the main objective. Always the objective is to keep dice in hand. Don't surrender the dice. Five, 3, 8. 2, 1, 4, 1. That's a primary. So it means that we were close. And it's a frontline winner. 2, 4, 6, 7. We'll count at 5. And thank you for the kind wishes, by the way, 5131. Another chance for the aces. Dice out. These are 3 count pause. 1, 2, 3. 3, 1. We have a 4. We got one of the aces. Two, 3, 2, 1. We're going to quarter turn away to 3, 5, 1, 5. One, 2, 3, pause. 1, 6. That's explosion of the left eye. And the 6 was sitting at the bottom of the right eye, which is precisely what we were avoiding. I guess that's that. Castle, dog. Oh. Oh yeah, my dog is just driving me nuts today. So why do we do all this quarter turning and all that? There's only one reason why I try to quarter turn my dice, and that's to have a better chance to get one of the 2 numbers which are sitting at the top, like on a 2, 3, 2, 1. I'm trying to get a 2 in the result or a 5 in the result. Because if I do that, then the off axis becomes irrelevant. And for you who know a little bit about dice setting, when you're throwing V sets or cross 6s, it's not the on axis 7s that you should be worried about, but rather the off axis 7s, because there is 4 off axis 7s and only 2 of them on the axis. So what we're trying to do is think about the rotations that our dice have. For example, now I'm doing the primary setting with the 2s on top, the 5s at the bottom. What I want to do is rotate my dice in such a way that I get the result that I want, basically containing a 2 or a 5. Now, on a come out, I would suggest using a 3V set. Doesn't matter how you set it up, whether it's a 3-2, 3-6, 3-6, 3-2, 4-2, 4-6, 4-6, 4-2, 4-5, 4-6, doesn't matter, 4-2, 4-1, doesn't matter how, as long as you have the 4s on the top, the 3s at the bottom. Because if you get one of those 2, then it's a guaranteed box number. So this is talking you through the actual applications of the theory, the theory, what I'm trying to share with you. For now, I'll just go with a 2, 3, 2, 1. Hoping to see a 2 or a 5. One 6 instead. 2 options. Go straight to cardways. because it was off axis, or quarter turn the dice. Now the direction plays a big part. Which direction? Because it was an explosion on a 2-3-2-1, I'll have to go 3-5-1-5. If it was a 2-1-2-3, okay, I would have to go in this direction. So it's also important to know the direction that your dice have taken. 3-5-1-5. And which cousins of V sets you use. Two, 6, 8. We got a 2 out of it. It shall come through at some point. So we are secondary. 3-2, 3-6 would be the original set. I'm just going to quarter turn the set to a 2-4-6-4. The expectation is a 3-1-4, believe it or not, which was the original set that we used, the 2-3-2-1. Expectation contains a 3 and the ace. Let's see if that works out. 2, 6, 8. No, that's a primary. It's a front line. One of those perfect ones. 2, 4, 6, 4. But that worries you. You know, it worries me because we have been throwing for 44 throws. So basically, my mechanics shouldn't be changing that much. So I should be back to a 3-2-3-6, wanting to see a 3 or a 4 in the results. 3V gave me 7. Which 3V? That's important. Were you using a 3-2-3-6 or a 3-6-3-2? It all starts from your come-out set. Your come-out set is the best set to establish where you're going to next. 3-2-3-6. Four, 2, 6. That's explosion, right? I didn't like that. Still the 3-2-3-6. Because we exploded one die, we're just going to quarter turn the dice away from us again. 2-4, 6-4. Same mechanics, delayed sort of backswing. 1, 2, 3. 1, 3, 4. Yeah, that was bad. We got the 3, but the ace, they have cost us. So, we have 2 results which are off axis. I'm going straight to hard ways. And happily enough, I can regress as well while doing it so. Stay with the 1-3-1-3. Not a lot of people use alternative hardware sets, and I find that strange if you're betting things like the ATS. You should be exploring other sets unless you can't see, you know, where the seams of the dice are, like right now, it's a very difficult set, the 1-3-1-3, because you don't have a lot of guidance as to where to place your fingers. Hard 4, that's a drift 2-2. That's 3 shots. Still across. So it takes us to 2-6-2-6. If we drift again, we should get 4s or 3s. Nice. We got a 4-2-6. I try not to use a 4-2-6. Reason being, I respect other people using it. It's not that it's a bad set, it's the universally accepted hard way set, I guess. But out of respect of other people using it, I don't. Let's go to 4-6-4-6. Nice. 5-1-6. That's an off axis. 5, which I like. Since we're throwing hard ways, it is beneficial to have one of the dice go off axis. Let's just leave it at that. Let's just follow what the dice are saying. 5-1-5-1. We involve the 4, which is another off axis. So the decision to go with hard ways was okay. Let me just demonstrate to you why. 5-1-5-1, and we got this die to come inwards. Now imagine if we were on a 3-2-3-6. And this die came inwards, that's 1-6-7. So we take decisions based on what is going to minimize the occurrence of 7s. We take that decision knowing our sets, knowing that V sets suffer from implosion or explosion 7s, depending on what sort of set you're using, an implosion friendly or explosion friendly set. If we double pitch a lot or if we stay on axis a lot, then we should be using V sets, simply because they only contain 2 7s on the axis. Now, if we are going off axis like I am today, after 44, 45 rolls, then I guess the best thing to do is to follow hard ways and not to be, how do I put this? Stubborn, arrogant about our abilities. Our abilities have very little to do with it. We do have mechanics, but what we don't have is that table every day or at that session, or our muscles are behaving in certain ways simply because they're tired or whatever. So you have to adjust to that. You have to have the ability to say, I trust, what's happening. I trust that I do have mechanics. I do work out my skill, and try your best, dice out. That's a 325. So on a 4141, the 2 is the off axis, which helps. I don't know if any of this makes sense. I hope you're enjoying this kind of. All right, so it takes us to a 3232. I'll stop talking for a while. The expectation is to involve either the ace or the 6. Hard 8, that's a primary hit for 4. Sitting at the bottom. Okay. Let's go with a 4-6. 4-6. Two, 3, 5. The 2 being the off axis, which we like. Okay, so now we go to 2, 3, 2, 3 set. So 1, 3, 4. The ace was what we wanted. What we're saying is we like to see an off axis result, either an ace or a 6 on a 2, 3, 2, 3. We got the ace, we're happy. 1, 2, 3. Back to 1, 3, 1, 3. Ooh, double pitched it, 3, 4. Perfect double pitch with a 6 in the ace face. That was a, more than 10 anyway, must have been. 14, okay. So that puts us at 55. I owe you another 17. I'll open it up again. If you give me a couple of minutes, I'll be right back. Thank you. Hey guys, all right, let's put some bets down. Here we go. All right, so let's just demonstrate what the implications are if you go to, let's say 1565 would be my set of choice if I was using kissing sets to establish a point. The reason for that being, if any one of the dice explodes, it's a 4. If any one of the dice implodes, it's a 3. So it immediately gives me an idea, what do I do next? Do I go to a... Sorry. Hello? Hello? Okay. So it gives me ideas as to how the dice are behaving very accurately. Whether I'm double pitching, if I get a 2, 5, 7, it's an indicator. If I get 12s or snake eyes, it's an indicator. If I get 3 craps, 6, 5, 1, 5, 6, 2, it's an indicator that I'm staying on axis. Therefore, I should be on V sets as opposed to hardware set. If I'm drifting the dice, however, the best set again is a hardware set as opposed to a V set, simply because a drift contains both an implosion and an explosion. So you don't know where to go. All right, here we go. 1, 5, 6, 5. Dice up. Six, 5, yo, that's axis. Gives us second chances. So we are on axis for the time being. Second attempt, 1, 5, 6, 5. Four, 2, 6, that's explosion. Left, 4, 2, 6. So we have a point. One was on axis secondary, and the other one was explosion left. Where do you go? Well, the safest place to go is hardways again. What sort of hardways would I be using? I would be using a set of hardways which, first of all, gives me good gripping opportunities. So the 6s is good, the 5s are good, the 4s are good. And then the other thing I would do is I'll make sure the 4 and the 3 are my off axis. The reason being, I have the best chance to get a score hit if I'm playing across, which I am, for a lot of money. What am I worried about? Double pitching and imploding both dice, or exploding. 6, 5. 6, 5 is the set. Nice out. Hard 8, that's a drift. Hi, Crapping, how are you, man? So that's one hit. We're gonna push. Again, 6, 5, 6, 5. It's gonna be the set of choice. Nice out. Five-two double pitched it. Youch! A lot of money was on that. And I got a 3-4 as well, so it was a really bad landing. Talk about making good choices and bad choices. Alright. Let's try again. So what do? We learn, we adapt, we move. 6-5, 6-5 has to become what? At least a secondary. 6-5, 2-6. Here we go. Hard 8 again with a 2-5 facing. Youch. That's one hit. There we go, 6-5, 6-5. Nice. 5-4-9. We got the 4, which is interesting. We need anaphylaxis. I always say that on hardways the most important finger placement is the middle, because it determines what the other fingers are doing as well. 6-5, 6-5. 5-4-9. Three. Nice. Box card, that's a primary, 6-6. We can move the set from a 6-5, 6-5 to a 5-1, 5-1. We still have enough pips to help our middle finger land on the right place. Nice. Again, box cars, which is primary. So do we take the hint and go to the other side? We could. 1 5 1 5. Or we can stay on the 5 and go 5 6 5 6. Gives us better middle finger landing sort of placement. 5 6 5 6. Heart 10, again another primary, so we're getting a lot of good feedback from what's going on. That's 4 hits, I can calm down. Still not 5 6 5 6. Just hoping that it's going to go 1 off axis to the 3. Nice up. 2 6 8. No, we're staying axis. Hit number 5. Let's go with 266. So 4 6. That's an off axis. I like that. And I would use a 4 6 4 6 to get to the yoke actually, because we're using 2 6 2 6. The next result from a 4 6 4 6 should be 5 6 yoke by shear transposition. Let's just keep our focus. Nice up. No 5 1. A bit of over rotation by the right die. 5 1 6. We can stay on the 4 6 4 6 actually. Middle finger. Let's try again. Hard 8. That's a primary. We'll take it. Let's go across. Advantages of the high numbers, the 4s, the 5s, the 6s, they give you placement options for your middle finger and your thumb. Nice. 2, 3, 5. Oh, going the other way. That's okay. We still have dice in hand, guys. That's 9 hits. Let's go for 6 for 6 last time. Nice. Ah, come on. 2-5 explosion on both dice. Sorry about that. We had 9 hits though, that's quite a good number. This is gonna be the last one. We need to go to 72 plus, I guess. Plus I missed my table, so I want to throw a bit more. Let's start with the 1-5-6-5. See where we stand with our on axis, off axis. If we get a 4, it's explosion. If we get a 3, it's implosion. The rest of the numbers are on axis. Nice. It's a 4-6 explosion. Doesn't matter which die did the explosion, we can actually use it. Four, 5, 6, 5 is going to be the set. It's set to maximum explosion friendliness, let's put it like that. The numbers to worry about are sitting at the bottom, so 4, 6, 4, 5, 6, 5. It's a 2V set. One, 4. That's a drift. By shifting away from kissing sets, we avoided a 7. But the other thing that you need to consider is the fact that if we get a drift, we immediately go to the original V set. Or, even better, go to hardware set. We'll go to 4-1-4-1 set. Nice out. Two, 4. That was implosion left. Good decision. The 2 was off axis. So we have 2 hits coming down. 2 more basic sets. Basic bets. 2-4, 2-4. Not a set that I use a lot, but Here we go. One of the reasons is that it doesn't provide you with confident placing of your middle finger. That's it. Heart 6. That's a primary for this set. It's down 3-5-3-5. That's it. 6-2. That's off axis 6. A little bit more confidence in that. 3 hits, right, 4 hits. Okay. Pressure. 6-2, 6-2. Provides us with a lot of pips to choose from when we place our thumb and middle finger. But also if we go one off axis, it gives us the opportunity to hit a 3 or a 4 on one of the dice. So that kind of guarantees a box hit. 3-5-8, box hit. Hi Lee, good to see you, man. So I have 3, 4, 6, no, 5. Yeah, 5 hits. Okay, cool. Here we go. Five, 3-5, dice. Six, 3, 9. Again, the 6 came in. Takes us to 6-3, 6-3. One 3, which is a secondary. All right, 1-3 is a bit more challenging, I guess. Dice out. 1-3, 1-3. 3-4 double pitch. How many rolls was that? 9. Okay. we had 7 hits. So I guess, I don't know, people should make some money. Well, let's stop there. Time to see the stats and go straight over to Crapsee. And stats are saying we had good box numbers. The 8 hit well. That's it, the 8 hit well. The 6 did okay, the 9 did okay. We had quite a few 7 outs, but not a lot of come out 7s, so I guess that may have helped the people playing the dark side. Horns were very low. 4s and 10s where they should be. So 2.98 raw quality is not bad, it's just above average, I would say. But good box numbers. That's all I can say on that. Let's go straight to Crapsee. Don, he did very well. 5-5. I was up and down all the time. And that shows because I borrowed twice. Uncle Kioni, 3630. All right, that was a good buy-in, 1800. Caniela, 15, up 1-3. Well done. 3 kilo, up 730. That's 50%. Coffee Land, 335. That's 20%. 5 Young, 20%. Tito, plus 91. That's like 10%. Jay Beazle, 28. Lee Hook, 25. Justice Gen, 6. So 11 out of 25. We needed 13. Chipono, 0, I guess. Crapping Campen Winners, 137. That would have been our break even. Sorry about that. And then we have Jay Croissant, John. He's down 149 on 300. Okay. That's a 50%, I guess. Mad Dog, 33% down. Jace, ooh, that's 66% down. And then, you know, quite a few people on the first one, which is quite good. And then we have Mrs. Big Money, 9K, Big Money Ray, 6K, Big Money, Big Bill. All right, Big Money family, dinner is on me, and Don, Uncle Hoku, sorry about that. I think Uncle Hoku relies a lot on very long rolls and extreme numbers like hard ways, etc., etc. Thank you very much, Kanila, I appreciate that. You're very welcome, guys. Thank you. John, one day, my friend, maybe we can meet up. I'm kind of a Vegas guy. I don't go anywhere else. You're very welcome, Lee. It's always a pleasure having good company, so thank you, guys. You too, Mr. Big Money, appreciate it. And sorry for the bad results. All right, so that's me, and dice are out.